Hello, this is Snack from Crow's Nest, and today we are going over the deck lists from the most recent Deck Devastators, Deck Devastators 7, with 169 players. Took place in the edisonformat.com Discord. Make sure to join that Discord if you would like to participate in future tournaments that we throw. This one, I think I said already, this one has 169 players, lots of really great talent. And also, while I'm here, be sure to check out the Versus Games 3v3, all Edison, taking place in Orlando, Florida, in October 26th, I want to say. So be sure to check that out. You can go to edisonformat.net if you need details. They have some info there on that site on future upcoming events. But anyways, let's get into the profiles. I'll start with top 16 and we'll go up from there. Technically finishing 9th here, we have Yundaime's Frog Hero. And something to note is that this list does play the Malicious with Dandy and Future Fusion. So this version has a lot of extra starters, 5 discard traps. We saw some versions playing Light and Darkness Dragon, but this one opts for just 3 Ryza. I believe this is similar to a list that Apropos played at one of the Ultimate Time Wizards, but congrats to Yundaime for the top with frogs. Very prolific Blackwing player and having some success with hero frogs here too. Then we have the Duck Murderer with a fairly standard value list. Just 1 hamster, 3 Ryko. Something significant might be the double book. No charge or second hamster is a bit uncommon. And we went with the 1-1 split on the oppression. 1 main, 1 side. Other than that, not too much to note in this one. Just the 1 Deck Devastation virus on the side with Chaos Orc in the main. Then we have Shabam with Lightsworn. This is just a pure Lightsworn build. From what I heard during the tournament, Shabam plays a lot of Tengu format or Hat. I can't remember which one. But one of the later formats, and just decided to play in an Edison tournament this weekend and had some success with Lightsworn here. Didn't opt for the Christia version or even much of a Twilight build. I know there's some Lightsworn builds that are having some popularity right now with Chaos Orc or Darkarm Dragon, but just keeping it simple. 3 Wolf, 2 Celestia, lots of spells, but playing Torrential and Mirror Force, which can sometimes catch people off guard. We had 2 Oppression on the side, 2 Decree, and Mirror of Oaths is interesting if you don't know what this card does. It's kind of a anti-Gladiator Beast card. It could work on Lonefire, getting out a Titanial as well, or like a Rescue Cat. But I know it's mainly used to counter Gladiator Beast, and it's interesting bringing in the 3 Crow or the Kaiku. They have the Chaos Orc to side in with those cards, so that's kind of funny. Next we have King War or Ricky, also playing Value Turbo. What's interesting about this one is both Oppression are in the side, to perhaps take full advantage of the Chaos Orc and the return in the main. This one is playing Charge and 3 Ryko with Hamster rather than the 2 Hamster, and we're on a main deck Icarus. Next we have also something about the value builds that we've been seeing lately is they all seem to be playing Gores, and I'm sure that it helps when you have both your Oppressions on the side. You're not really blocking your Gores that way. But even the ones that are maining the Oppressions have been playing Gores lately. Next, we got Jiraiya Kid with Blackwing. And this one's on 4 draw traps. You have Jar and 3 Yada. Only 2 Icarus. And other than that, pretty standard for a Blackwing list. There is the Gores, though. That's another thing. So yeah, Gores is definitely shooting up in popularity lately, even in decks that traditionally don't play it. Some interesting cards on the side as well. We have 1 Skill Drain, System Down, and 2 Banisher. Those are not super common to see. Next we have Jaren J with a Quick Draw Plant deck. And this one's playing the shells, but not the rockets. the shells are just another way to use the quick draws and make Duel Warrior. 3 quick draw is pretty rare to see these days. Usually you'll see players only playing 2 copies of this card because it can be tough when you draw multiple. We have Trag as well to go with the rest of the deck. It gives you some more special summons, more ways to get your Caius out. You can capitalize on pitching a Titanial if you draw it. You can steal a Stardust or something with it, so that's nice. I don't exactly know why Road Warrior is in here. That's a bit strange to me. But it does give you a body. If you can make it, you can at least make a big body. That's 3k. Just 1 Dust Tornado on the side is interesting. So yeah. We also have Gaibu on Vayu as well. This one has 1 Deck Dev in the main, 1 Oppression in the main, and still the Gores. This version, I think with Oppression and Deck Dev in the main, it helps some of your bad matchups like Amaryllis or potentially even those like more Frog Monarch style decks with Fishborg and stuff. In the side we have a Breaker, 2 Kaiku. Kaiku's really picked up in popularity. Compulse. This is the first instance of Compulse I think we've seen. So interesting there. We have the Charge, of course. Haven't seen a 2 Hamster no Raikou list yet. And here we have Fraser Smith, also the I Am Nerd YouTube channel, with Dream Frog or Fishborg Frog, whatever you want to call this deck. We are on 6 Monarchs in the main. The lads are in the side instead of mained, with the Fishborg and Death Frog. Compulse in the main is interesting. 2 Salvage, 2 Avarice, and 1 Junk Synchron. Some very cool stuff here. We have the Dark Dust Spirit, which is funny. If there's ever a Legacy of Yada flipped on this, it would be pretty funny, but I have yet to see it ever happen. And this card can be pretty clutch against like a deck like Amaryllis or maybe even Lightsworn. Next, into the top 8 now, we have... What? Is it being weird? We have Zanesha with Dragon Turbo. Pretty standard Dragon Turbo list now, but both Vortex are in the side rather than mained. Sometimes you would see them mained. We're on 2 Vortex Trooper, no Gores, only 1 Instant Fusion. Not too much to talk about in the main deck. And we've seen a lot of Dragon Turbo lists playing these like Floodgates in the side. The Oppressions really come up against Gladiator Beast. And the Consecrated Light is very interesting, maybe for Blackwing. Next we have Samu Pusteno. Our reigning champion got 5th place at this tournament. Once again, Gores in the main, Chaos Orc in the main, Return in the main, both Oppression in the side with 1 Icarus. I believe this is like the same list as Ricky or King War. Yeah, I believe it's like the exact same list, which is pretty interesting. 2 players having lots of success in this tournament with the same Vayu list. Ricky was undefeated in Swiss, and Samu was able to get top 8 with this. Next we have NB96, another Hero Frog list, but this one is not on the Mali. This one's on Malicious Edge instead. Not playing the Dandy or the Future Fusion stuff, just trying to streamline as much as possible with the upstarts. And yeah, other than that, it's a very standard Hero Frog list. The upstarts make it even more streamlined. 2 Kaiku in the side is interesting. We saw a lot of Frog players siding the Kaiku. And Burial. We saw the Burial come up against a Quick Draw player, I believe, where they were able to Burial, put back their own Treeborn in their standby phase, as well as putting the opponent's Drill Warrior into the graveyard. Next, we have Lucas Gustafsson with Blackwing. Again, 3 upstart here. Just trying to find the Whirlwinds as fast as possible. 2 Vayu, 1 Oppression in the main. Light Imprisoning in the side. 1 Knock in the side. No Mind Control is interesting. You've seen a lot of Blackwing players play Mind Control. And 3 Dust Tornado, presumably for the Mirror. Now into top 4, we have Pina Pina Pina. Now, Diego was unable to finish the top 4 match. They were in game 3, And it was kind of an interesting spot, but looking back on the cards, I believe Diego was in a pretty bad spot. But with that said, this is sort of a Dream Frog list, but without the Fishborg. They're just kind of trying to get the infinite grind going and capitalize on Substitute as much as possible. We have 3 Solex for this opening sub, as well as 2 Salvage and 1 Avarice. 2 Econ is interesting, 4 discard traps, as well as 2 real ones and a Dashu. So yeah, this is a very interesting one. Only 1 Junk Synchron, and the Dust Frog is in the side, as well as Flip Flop, with 2 Spiritual Water Owie. Again, with the Burial is interesting. And like all of these like Avarice Frogs list, we are playing the 3 dupe. So this is a very, very interesting take on frogs, and it took Diego to top 4. This kind of list, it's interesting because people might bring in the Oppression thinking that you're going to hit Fishborg or something, but really the only thing you're hitting with Oppression is Fader, Junk, and Sub. And I imagine he has tools for that post board. The MST being sided is very interesting. But yeah, you would expect to be able to hit like Fishborg and stuff. I guess even the Crow, you're only hitting the 1 Avarice instead of multiple. Kind of an interesting spot here. Interesting version. The Sangan can search out pretty much anything you want except for Gores or a Monarch. Yep. On to Ghost Rider, also got top 4. He got 3rd at Deck Devastators 5, 2nd at Deck Devastators 6, and 3rd again here at Deck Devastators 7. So a very consistent player with Dragon Turbo, a deck that a lot of people are not able to have consistent results with, but was ultimately taken down by Gladiator Beast, and you'll see that later. 2 Instant Fusion in the main. This makes sense to me. Whenever I play Dragon Turbo, I feel like the card I'm always looking for is Instant Fusion. Card Destruction in the main. We're down to 1 Vortex Trooper. We have the Floodgates over here, as well as 2 Drago. Drago makes sense against Glads. You'd like to have 3 Drago post board. Mind Control and Ryko is funny. Prime Material can come up huge against like Burn. If you, as funny as it is, Burn can be a real thing. So yeah, there's Ghost Rider's list. And on to 2nd place, Gladiator Beast. This is something that I don't think many people saw coming, Glads to do so well, but lots of interesting stuff in this deck list. We are on 43 cards. Sekitor was resolving over and over and over again. And I believe that Josh Johnson's path was Frogs, Dragon Turbo, Vayu, and Finals. Spoiler alert. And it was nearly about to be Frogs, Dragon Turbo, Frogs for the entire top cut. So that would have been a very good path for Gladiator Beast, but we're on only 1 Sam Knight, which I know some cat players prefer to play the 2 Sam Knights so that you can never be stuck being forced going into 2 Test Tiger. But 2 Laquari, 2 Prisma, 2 Darius, 2 Equest. And the 1 Gores is kind of a surprise for people. 2 Book, 1 Shrink, 2 Wabaku, 2 Chariot, 2 Bottomless, 2 Trap Stun, 2 Compulse. A very varied trap lineup here with Cold Wave, Heavy, and MST to force through your plays, as well as the Trap Stuns, as we mentioned. So very unpredictable in terms of back row. And in the side, we have the 3rd Trap Stun, the 3rd War Chariot, 2 Trap Hole potentially for Blackwing, Ancient Forest. We have Gladiator Beast, Battle Manica. I have no idea what matchup this would come in for, but it's a card that you can get off of Equest if it goes to the grave, which is kind of nice. The Hot Plumbus in the side, even a Fossil Dyna. Fossil Dyna is a strange one because it can conflict with your own Glads being able to tag out, but you might need it in certain matchups. So yeah, very, very good result for Glads here. And the champion was Nicholas with Vayu. And we do have the 1 Oppression main. We have 2 Hamster, 3 Ryko, no charge. 3 copies of Deep Prison. We do have Gores in the main, though. And other than that, it's a pretty standard Vayu list. We have Mind Control potentially for the mirror match, but Nothing too fancy with the list, just some good play for Niklas and some good draws, good mills. And that was enough for him to take home the tournament. So hope you enjoyed these deck lists, and I'll have a video out sometime later this week doing some data analysis on the entire pool of people who entered, what decks had the best conversion rates, all that kind of stuff. So stay tuned to the channel. Make sure you subscribe for that. And also, if you are interested in watching how these decks play, you can always check out the stream from yesterday. That'll be somewhere on the screen right now. And adios.